Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, June 19, 2025. Happy Juneteenth to you all. And I'm sorry for the late recap. Today is also my daughter's 6th birthday, so that's why you're getting a recap really late. But let's get into it. So, Johnny and Chanel, they are still unboxing in their new place. And, Johnny's looking for his new watch because he is the first person I know to have a second first day of work, right? So anyways, she's saying, look in the box, and then he sees this gift, and then she's saying to him that, don't open it. So he's like, what's going on with that? So she said that it was supposed to be his first Father's Day gift. Didn't turn out because they didn't get to adopt Sophia and Tate's child, and hopefully one day that maybe someday it will happen. So he assures her that someday it will happen when it's the right time, right? So anyways, he was saying to her that they could celebrate his first day of work by going out for breakfast. So she said no, she has work to go. So anyways, he says to her that okay, I will see you later, right? So Chanel calls Felicity and tells her that she's gonna come in for work late, so she has some other business to take care of. So Belle pays Philip a visit, and she asks him to go over back the statement that he said to the police about Xander not having any involvement in his attack. So he's saying that he's sticking to the story and it's some unknown person. So there's a lot of crazy people out there. So she said she's not buying it. She would be crazy if she bought the story, because again, if it was even a thief, there was no there's no evidence of a break-in. There was no things stolen. The laptop was still there. His money was still in his wallet. So she is finding that hard to believe. And then Xander had all motive because again, Philip and Vivian worked together to forge this letter to take over part of his inheritance, and then he had to be working with him all the time, so he had a lot of motive to want to attack him. So anyway, she's saying to Philip, like, just level with me, tell me the truth, because I can't afford to lose somebody else. Like, what if Xander turns around and just finishes you off, right? What if Xander is, did he threaten you? Did he say that if you tell on him, he's gonna tell on you what you did, send you to prison? So she's just thinking of all what could have pointed to this. So anyways, she said she can't lose somebody else, and Philip said, what do you mean by that? So she tells him that her dad passed away recently, and he's surprised because remember, Philip has been in a coma. He doesn't know what's going on. So he said that Bo and Hope visited him and told him about the whole the whole recovery and everything of the drug. And she's saying maybe they didn't want to overwhelm him since he's still healing, but she's saying that was an accident. He feels bad about it, involving himself with Kevin and it never going well, and it not helping his situation with Xander. So she said, don't worry about it. It was an accident about my dad, but this was not an accident. This was premeditated. So I'm not giving up on this at all, right? I have all the intel, we're gonna sort this out. So this was one of my favorite scenes. Xander comes in to Sarah. Sarah's like, what do you want? Like an annoying gnat. And she's saying that she's busy. So he said that I checked the schedule. You don't have no patience for a few minutes. So she's like, what do you want? So he says to her that I'm exonerated from all the crimes that I was accused of. So she said, yeah, I was there, and Philip said a statement, but I don't believe it for one bit. So he said, I didn't hurt my brother. You were there when Philip said it. So what do you mean? So she's saying that, of course, you did not say anything to me when I asked a couple of times. You did not say if you did it or you did not do it. So anyways, I don't buy your little exoneration, right? So he's saying to her that, there's a reason why I brought this up. And she was being her usual narcissistic self, saying that, okay, if you think that this is going to change anything between us, think again. So he says that, look, I'm not interested in, getting back together as a happy husband, wife. Like, I do not trust you. And she's saying the feeling is mutual. So he said that this is for the custody arrangement. So she said, we already agreed on supervised visitation. So he said, that was when I thought I had stuff to lose. Like, I don't have nothing to lose, baby girl. Like, at the end of the day, like, I am gonna fight for my rights, 50-50 custody. So she's not agreeing to that. So he said, okay, you wanna play hardball? Then we do it hardball. Like, you'll be seeing my attorney soon. And I'm saying, that's right, Xander. You go for what is right. And I hope that you get back into the house that's rightfully yours, because Maggie and Sarah have no right to just shove you out like this and not let you have 50% custody with your daughter. At the end of the day, like, that doesn't stop you from being a good father. They know you're a good father. And, whatever. Like, I can't stand Sarah. Y'all already know I cannot stand Sarah. So I'm here for Xander taking back what is rightfully his, right? So, anyways, when Johnny was heading out for work, he gets a knock at the door. It's his dad. He's like, what do you want? So he said that, I just need a few minutes. I just want to tell you how sorry I am. And he's like, are you talking about my grandpa John? So he says, yes, I'm sorry about that, but I'm sorry about a lot of things. And I just want to say that, I'm sorry about how I handled things regarding the shooting, regarding just trying to hover over you and just, force you to forgive me. And, he said, we both know what we did already. And he said, yes, he's fully aware of that. And he knows that he was justified in doing that. He said, look, like, you have more of your grandpa John than me and you. So at this point, you have better trace through him. So he said, I don't have an ounce of blood in me, right? So he said to him that, okay, I am just proud of who you are. You're kind. You're a different person than me. And it was such a great heart-to-heart moment between him and his dad, because finally there was a breakthrough. And he said that, look, you weren't an overly awful dad to me. Like, you were good to me, and I remember that. And he said, I wasn't always good. So he said, yes, that's true, but at the same time, losing my grandpa John made me realize that I don't want to lose nobody else. And EJ was making him an offer, like, this is the last time he's bothering him to forgive him. He's gonna leave him where it's at, and just walk away, unless that's not what he wants. So he's conflicted right now because he doesn't want to lose him, but at the same time he still hates him for what he did to his mom. So he said, take your time. I'm not gonna rush you to make a decision, right? And he told him that he loved him. So it was definitely a greater conversation between the two. Nell did come back home to, see Johnny there. She's wondering why he was still there. So he said he got to meet up with his dad, and his dad said that he's going to step away. And she's happy for him, but she realized that he's not really truly happy. So, he said probably wants to forgive after Grandpa John's funeral. He really wants to forgive his dad and move forward, right? He wants to let go of the anger. And she's just there like, okay, she's not really buying it, right? But Chanel, is not about you. It's about Johnny's recovery, and, him just forgiving himself and moving forward. Like, you should support him no matter what decision he makes. So Rafe comes over to pay Jada a visit, because remember, Rafe told Gabby some time ago that there was a memory chip missing, and he wanted to see if Jada could, help him to find that. So she's surprised that he broke and entered into EJ's place and planted a memory card thing there, right? So he said that he's sorry about it, just wanted to find out what EJ had done to him confessing to it somehow. But now that the shooter was involved, maybe they can kill two birds with one stone. So she's overlooking that. But I'm saying, if it was somebody else, she would not do doing that. If it was Xander breaking into somebody's place or EJ breaking into somebody's place, she would hold them on that charge. So why is Rafe above it, right? But anyways, moving on, Rafe did say that, he's doing his FBI thing, but it's going to be centrally based near Salem. So he'll be, in and out more, right? So she's happy for him. They also talk about where this memory chip could have been, who could have taken it, whether it's somebody in his house. But he said that it wasn't Gabby or Leo. They had their own thing going on. And also they talk about the mirror place, maybe somebody there, but then there's so many people coming in and out of that place. So right now they have a lot to think about with that, but it's feeling like old times where they used to bounce off each other ideas on the case. So she said, does that mean we will be friends one day? So he said, hopefully, I would like that, right? So I would like to see them back together as a couple. Maybe there'll be a reunion. Let's see. So Chanel actually had a reason for her actually going late to work today. She actually has an appointment to check if the cancer cells are still there, or if she and Johnny can actually, try again to have another baby. So Paulina was actually there. She had her yearly checkup and everything is fine, and she also is preparing for, I guess, a speech at high school, and late night candlelit dinner with Eve, because it is also their wedding anniversary. I think it's third wedding anniversary, because they got married on Juneteenth 3 years ago. So anyway, she's saying, should I be with you? Why didn't you tell me about this? So I agree with Chanel. Paulina can be too much, and she was worried the last time she had that scare. So she just want to go in by herself, and she was like, "Where's Johnny?" So she said that don't want to worry Johnny, and put too much on him. He's going through a lot already. So anyways, she said, that's your husband. You have to alert him or inform him on what's going on with you. You guys are a team. Like, shouldn't be no secret. So she said, I understand that, but I just want to rule out things before I discuss it with him, right? So anyway, she goes along to her appointment, and we'll get back to her and Paulina's conversation afterwards. So Belle comes home to agree with Marlena. Marlena was there just sobbing, throwing some dead flowers on her because she's tired of seeing dead, and that's understandable. And she definitely looks the part of a grieving widow. So Belle sees her, and she has John's cap, and she talks about how the cap is special to John, because John likes his baseball. So Belle can see that her mom is not doing good, and she's glad she's home. So they catch up, and she's asking Belle how she's doing. So she says she's trying to keep busy, distract herself, because the quiet moments are really awful. And Marlena definitely can relate to that. She asks her about Egypt, because she remembers she threw him out week ago, right? So Belle says, it's still conflicting, because she loves EJ, right? But at the same time, she wants to honor her father's wishes, because maybe he wouldn't want her with him. So Marlena gives her a piece of advice that, look, I have my reservations about you in Egypt, but at the same time, you have to live your life. You have to make your own decisions. Don't worry about what I think or what your father would have wanted for you, right? So, Belle takes that, and says that regardless, it's still a tough decision to make, because they've had so much going on, and then this happening. So yeah, at some point Marlena is feeling dizzy. She got up and almost faint, and Belle is saying, are you okay? She said, yeah, I just got up too fast, I need to lie down. So she said, anything happened, just call me. So she calls Sarah when Belle leaves, and she said that if you can return the call. So she's not really feeling good, she's not looking too good, she's feeling faintish. So hopefully she's gonna be all right. So Chanel has her appointment with Sarah, and fortunately everything is looking good with her. She doesn't have any worries about the cancer coming back and all of that. So Chanel is happy about that. Chanel asks her about if Johnny and her can try again. So Sarah's saying that it's still too soon. The HCG levels can fluctuate, and they don't want what happened previously to happen again, and she had a molar pregnancy and all of that. So she's advising Chanel to just wait a little longer. The longer she waits, the better chances she has of having a healthy pregnancy, right? So Chanel is upset about that, of course, because she definitely wants to start trying again. But after thinking it through, and she talks to her mom about this and how it's going, and she says, maybe it's for the best, because if they had the green light, Johnny would probably not be in the right frame of mind to actually, want to start preparing for a pregnancy and actually being a father, right? Before I get in this last clip with EJ and Belle, right? So there was a little short scene with Xander and Paulina. Xander was just asking Paulina about putting in a good word for him with Abe now that he is exonerated. So she's like, you don't quit, do you? So it's like, I have a lot riding on this now. So she said, you know what, maybe you need to put that kind of energy into your wife and daughter. Like, that's more important, right? So also there's another scene with Sarah and Philip, and Sarah's checking over Philip, and she wanted to ask Philip point blank, like, Xander found out about me forging the letter, did you have anything to do with it? So Philip was trying to put on his best poker face and say, no, oh my gosh, I'm sorry that happened, I didn't know about it, I didn't have anything to do with that. So remember, Philip and Xander spoke, and Xander is just happy that Philip kept his word, and Philip said that he's not going to speak on him, because again, Xander made it clear, if he speak on him, he's gonna speak on him as well. And they're gonna try to work together. He did apologize to Philip for beating him, and also finding out that Philip was actually trying to do the right thing with the drug and make amends with him. And he's happy that he told him about Sarah, that he can move forward, right? He's just mad because Sarah was really good to him and all of that. But Xander's happy to find out the truth, so he thanks him and he apologizes, and they move forward, right? I always like the scenes with Philip because Philip is just comedy gold, right? But anyways, back to this scene with EJ and Belle. Belle comes over and Belle says, I've been thinking a lot more, and I love you, EJ. I want to move forward with you. So EJ returns his I love you as well, and he's happy to hear this, and they start kissing. And yeah, I'm happy for it as well. Like, go with your heart, right? So that was it, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Comment below your thoughts on today's episode. I will see you guys tomorrow.